Imagine a land of shimmering deserts and a mighty river. This was ancient Egypt. Here the pharaohs ruled for almost 3,000 years. They weren't just kings. The people believed they were gods living on earth. Pharaohs were like a bridge between the people and the heavens. The ancient Egyptians believed in many gods. They thought these gods controlled everything. The pharaoh's job was to keep the gods happy. They did this with offerings and rituals. This kept their world in balance. Life in ancient Egypt revolved around the Nile River. It gave them food and water. The pharaoh was in charge of this precious resource. They controlled the irrigation canals. They made sure the crops grew. This made them very powerful. The pharaoh's lives were full of mystery and splendor. They lived in grand palaces. They wore golden headdresses and fine linen. They held the fate of Egypt in their hands. Their story is a journey through time. It's a story of gods, kings, and the secrets of a lost world. The pharaoh was the most important person in ancient Egypt. Their word was law. They controlled the army. They led their people in war. The pharaoh also made all the important decisions. They were responsible for the kingdom's well-being, but their power wasn't just political. The pharaoh was also the high priest of Egypt. They led all the religious ceremonies. They built temples to honor the gods. They performed rituals to ensure good harvests. The Egyptians believed the pharaoh had magical powers. They thought the pharaoh could even talk to the gods. This made the pharaoh a very powerful figure. People both respected and feared them. The pharaoh's power was absolute. They were the living embodiment of Horus, the falcon god. They were the protectors of Egypt. Their reign meant stability, prosperity, and the continuation of their world order. The ancient Egyptians believed in something called Maat. Maat was the idea of truth, order, and justice. It was what kept the world in balance. The pharaoh was responsible for upholding Maat. They did this in many ways. One way was by ruling fairly and justly. Another way was by protecting Egypt from its enemies. The pharaoh also had to make sure the temples were well maintained. They ensured the gods received their offerings. This balance, this Ma'at, was very important to the Egyptians. They believed that if Ma'at was disrupted, chaos would reign. The Nile could stop flooding, crops could fail, their entire world would fall apart. The pharaoh's role in maintaining Ma'at was crucial. They were the linchpin, holding the cosmic forces in balance. They were the guarantors of order, the protectors against chaos, ensuring the well-being of Egypt and its people. When a pharaoh died, it was a time of great mourning. But it was also a time to prepare them for the afterlife. The Egyptians believed in life after death. They thought the pharaoh would need their riches in the next world. So they built elaborate tombs for their pharaohs. These tombs were filled with treasures. They put gold, jewelry, and even food inside. The most famous tombs are the pyramids. These massive structures were built by thousands of workers. The pyramids were more than just tombs. They were symbols of the pharaoh's power. They were also a way to honor the gods. The Egyptians believed that when a pharaoh died, they joined the gods in the sky. The pyramids helped the pharaohs make this journey. The Great Pyramid of Giza is one of the most amazing structures ever built. It took over 20 years to build. It is made of over 2 million stone blocks. The pyramids are a testament to the skill and ingenuity of the ancient Egyptians. They are a symbol of Egypt's enduring legacy. Section 5. Unraveling the riddle of the Sphinx. Near the pyramid stands another mysterious monument. This is the Great Sphinx of Giza. It is a giant statue with the body of a lion and the head of a human. Some say it represents the pharaoh Khafre. We do not know for sure. The Sphinx is enormous. It's over 240 feet long and 66 feet tall. It was carved from a single piece of limestone. The Sphinx has guarded the pyramids for centuries. Its watchful eyes have seen the rise and fall of empires. Over time, the Sphinx has been buried by sand. Its nose has crumbled, but it still inspires awe in all who see it. The Sphinx is a reminder of the power and mystery of ancient Egypt. The Sphinx is a puzzle waiting to be solved. What does it represent? How was it built? We are still searching for answers. The Sphinx remains a symbol of ancient Egypt's enduring mystery. Section 6. Ramses II, the pharaoh who conquered time. One of the most famous pharaohs was Ramses II. He ruled Egypt for over 60 years. Ramses II was a great builder. He built many temples and monuments. He even had a city named after himself, Pyrameses.
I was a mighty warrior. I fought many battles and expanded Egypt's empire. My most famous battle was at Kadesh. It was against the Hittites, a powerful enemy. The battle was fierce, but I was victorious.
He's known as Ramses the Great. He was a powerful and charismatic ruler who left his mark on Egypt's history. His monuments and inscriptions tell his story. They remind us of his greatness. Section 7. The enigmatic reign of Hatshepsut. Not all pharaohs were men. Hatshepsut was a woman who became pharaoh. She dressed like a man and even wore a false beard.
I ruled Egypt for over 20 years. I was a powerful and effective leader. I was a builder like many pharaohs. I built temples and monuments. I also sent expeditions to far-off lands. I brought back exotic goods to Egypt.
Hatshepsut's reign was a time of peace and prosperity. But her stepson, Thutmose III, wanted to be pharaoh. After she died, he tried to erase her from history. He destroyed her statues and removed her name from monuments, but archaeologists have rediscovered her story. Hatshepsut's story is a reminder that women could be powerful rulers in ancient times. She was a trailblazer, defying convention and leaving an indelible mark on Egypt's history. Section 8. Tutankhamun, the Boy King's Legacy. Tutankhamun became pharaoh when he was just a boy. He ruled for about 10 years before he died mysteriously. He is famous today because his tomb was found intact in 1922. The discovery of Tutankhamun's tomb was a major event. It was filled with treasures. There were gold masks, chariots, and even board games. These treasures tell us a lot about life in ancient Egypt. Tutankhamun's mummy was also found in the tomb. Scientists have studied his mummy. They have learned a lot about his health and how he died. The treasures from Tutankhamun's tomb are now on display in museums around the world. Section 9. Cleopatra, the last pharaoh's fight for Egypt. Cleopatra was the last pharaoh of ancient Egypt. She was a brilliant and ambitious ruler. She spoke many languages. She was a skilled diplomat. Cleopatra wanted to restore Egypt to its former glory. Cleopatra lived during a time of Roman expansion.
I had relationships with two powerful Romans, Julius Caesar and Mark Antony. I hoped to use these relationships to protect Egypt, but my plans ultimately failed. After my death, Egypt became part of the Roman Empire. This marked the end of the pharaoh's reign, but my story continues to fascinate people today. I was a woman of great intelligence and ambition. I fought hard to save my kingdom. I remain a legend.
Section 10. The enduring allure of ancient Egypt. The pharaohs of ancient Egypt are long gone, but their legacy lives on. We are still fascinated by their world. We marvel at their monuments. We study their hieroglyphs. We try to understand their beliefs. The pharaohs left behind a rich legacy of art, architecture, and culture. Their civilization was one of the most advanced of its time. They made important discoveries in astronomy, medicine, and engineering. The pharaohs were more than just rulers. They were the keepers of a civilization. They were the guardians of its secrets. Their story is a reminder of the power of the past. It is a story that continues to captivate us today. Section 11. Treasures and tombs, unlocking the past. Today, archaeologists are still making discoveries in Egypt. They are uncovering new tombs and temples. They are finding more treasures. These discoveries are helping us to understand ancient Egypt better than ever before. We are learning more about the pharaohs' lives. We are learning about their beliefs and customs. We are learning about their skills and achievements. Each new discovery is like a piece of a puzzle. It helps us to see the bigger picture of ancient Egypt. The pharaohs ruled over 3,000 years ago, but their world is still coming to life.
Through their monuments and artifacts, they speak to us across the centuries. They invite us to journey back in time and explore their world. It is a world full of wonder, mystery, and splendor.